Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whatever time it is. I hope you are having a good one. Welcome back to House Flipper 2 with Rash Decision. If you enjoy this type of content, please leave me a like, subscribe, and maybe even a comment to let me know. Enjoy the video. Alright, welcome back to Mod Review Monday with Rash Decision, and this is your host, Rash. So today we've got this one, a little bit of an Air BnB Gone Wrong kind of situation. This one, so I noticed that it is titled here as Glassmarch Cove Job by Sarah. On the website, it was by Sazamu91. I have had a couple questions asking where I'm getting these mods from. They all come from mod.io, but from here on, I will make sure that I put a link in the description leading to these mods. But this is the only one for today. I don't have a bonus round like I did last week. The other one that I chose, that I was flipping a coin over them and everything, so I greatly apologize to that mod developer. I won't even mention which one it was, because I knew that if I tried to do this one and that one, the episode was going to be way too long. So this one is going to be our mod review for the week. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's have a look. As far as I could tell from reading what I could about this particular mod, it seems like it's mostly just a cleanup job. So hopefully it's not too much. Alright, so let's take a quick little tour. Looks like I'm getting a little bit of a frame rate drop. There's probably a lot of items placed on this lot. Seems like it's a larger lot than what we're used to seeing. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm seeing... Yeah, there's a lot of items placed in this particular lot, and I'm seeing a lot of architecture being used. The use of verticality with the landscaping is really awesome. It's almost like there was a sand dune here and somebody decided they were going to build a house on top of the sand dune. The only problem I have with that is that sand, if it rains or if there's like any settling on the house or anything like that, sand will run down. So a lot of times what construction companies will do with sand builds is they will actually build like a layer of maybe like concrete and then layer the sand over it in ways that will maybe like stair step, so that the steps will catch the sand as it falls down and instead of all of it falling down at once. But in this situation, because of the way this is built, honestly, I would make the recommendation to the creator to just have the walls go all the way down and just use like maybe this lower layer of sand as kind of like the catch or the cover. Back here is kind of okay because it has this big old rock right here that kind of implies that that rock is catching the sand as well as supporting the middle of the house. That's great. But here in the front, like, there's absolutely nothing that's really kind of supporting this. I would cover that up, personally. Like, that would be a big personal choice, but honestly, I can make that recommendation. And this right here, absolutely. Like, just cover this in architecture. Make it look like it was built over top of rather than into. Because just having sand like that looks a little bit strange. This right here, absolutely. Go ahead, just fill in this wall. Absolutely. Would be a great addition to this property, make it look a little bit more realistic, a little bit more believable. But other than that, it looks like back here we have like what's kind of like a sub-basement. I don't know how you would say this because it's really kind of ground level, but at the same time, it's right off the back of this hill, or the dune, I should say. And you know, these other floors. The front door is what I would use to classify as what is ground level. And it looks like the second level is what is being considered ground level here. Even though there is a back door, a sliding door here, that comes out back here on what is the ground, or what you would consider the ground level to be, because there's no way to access this. You can kind of consider this to be a bonus area, an extra area that doesn't really factor into the rest of the structure. Now, don't get me wrong, it would be absolutely awesome if you did have an access back here, even if it was just a gate. It would be absolutely awesome to have something back here that you could get in here without having to go all the way through the house and go all the way around. That'd be really, really awesome. The other side of it, everything else looks okay. I really like the way that this architecture works. Like this coming out here has like this support coming down here, has the lighting up underneath, gives it nice like this nice little bit of mood lighting. Honestly, it'd be really cool if this was flattened out, maybe even built into like a full room right here, or maybe not even a full room, just these two walls like a breezeway almost, and just let people kind of like sit here and like enjoy the breeze coming in from the ocean, that kind of thing. But other than that, we're gonna have to go inside to look at anything further beyond what I've seen, and I don't really want to go inside because there is quite a bit of mess here to get cleaned up. So let's go ahead and start cleaning up, and I will see you on the other side when we start doing the inside. Cheerio. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. I'm actually going to give up on this one. Um, and as we take our tour, I'll kind of explain why. So as we go up here, first thing we notice is that there's a couple items here. There's nothing I can do with them. They can't be sold. They can't be picked up by the trash bag. I'd have to physically pick them up and move them. And the same problem happened with these items over here. They can't be sold. You can't pick them up with the trash bag. Nothing. They just are doomed to sit there. Around here, again, I really have to say that there really needs to be something like here, or maybe even like this little piece right here, just remove this. Something needs to be removed off of this rail in order to make this back area accessible when you're trying to do your work in it. But beyond that, even if we weren't just trying to do your work in it, it seems like such a waste of space to not have this accessible from the outside. I understand what they're trying to go for with security, what have you, but most backyard patios just have a set of stairs leading to them. There's not really that much to do with security outside, as long as you have security that has the ability to be locked leading inside. That's really what matters. So this door being here kind of acts as all the security you really need. This rail is more or less just superfluous to that. And it kind of this rail being here and being complete makes it very frustrating to work back here. So even like right now, I can't go in this back door to start from down here because I can't get over this rail. So I'm going to have to go back around and go back to the front. So yeah, these items, they feel like they were meant to be removed in some way, but maybe they were either placed incorrectly or they weren't flagged correctly, something like that. It just seems like it might have been like a minor mistake or misplacement of item, thing like that. But those aren't the only items that happened to, because there was actually a couple of items even in here that felt like that they were that way. So as we continue around, you notice there's no door here anymore. Nowhere on this property was there a option to buy. There was only options to sell. And if you notice that I didn't get all the stains and all the trash, and that's kind of what I'm about to go into. So as I go in this front door, if I hit my stains, it says there's 14, but I've walked all the way through. And of course, you know, there's like little things like this and like that that are just the lights, and it kind of gives an issue. A word of advice to the developer: I would honestly just make a second pass of this map and simplify what you're asking the player to do, alongside repairing the issues like the fact that nothing's being purchased. The fact that there's no door here or here means that now that I have completed this area, I can no longer come back to it very easily. I have to go all the way around. And this area, this room, you can no longer access at all because I had to sell that door in order to get more completion. Besides that, like, I'm walking around and I'm hitting the button and I'm hearing the audio cues in my headphones, but I can't find them. Like here, I'm hearing the one that's probably for somewhere else because I got all the ones in here, but I'm hearing like the one little tick, and it's probably from somewhere way off in the distance that I can't figure out. In here also, it says there's a piece of trash, but I've gone around and spammed this trash bag in every nook and cranny that oh, well, there it is, finally. So it was probably like stuck in this wall or something, or maybe like behind the mirror. But that's kind of what I'm talking about, is that you really need to make sure that you are simplifying this for the player. Like all of this. You can sell that, but all of this is not sellable, so it just sits there. There's nothing that happens with it. It's kind of like, it feels like I'm leaving the job incomplete because I'm leaving stuff on the floor. Like, we're not leaving a completed house, therefore we're leaving an incomplete job. But the instructions were never there of what to do with it, So there's not really a point to having it there in the first place for a job. Uh, Moving around, same thing here. There was the chair got sold, like a pillow here got sold, this table got sold. There was a lot of stuff that got sold that felt like it didn't need to. And there's like a lot of items that were just left laying around because of it. The hard part about that, the heartbreaking part about all of this, is that this really has the potential to be one of the nicest houses I've ever looked at. Especially like this atrium, this sunroom atrium up here at the very top of this turret is absolutely phenomenal. I love the design, the language, the design aesthetic, the cohesive aesthetic you've created that kind of makes this room the pinnacle of being in this house. Because you have like all these cushions over here, and you know you're meant to like sit down and kind of just enjoy everything around you, and it really does all of that wonderfully. And even has like these couple of bedrooms right here off of that turret, and even like this little landing out here that lets you look back into the turret while also having this perfect vantage point to look out over the ocean. Like, this is a phenomenally designed house. The problem is that the job that came with it in order to make it a wonderfully designed house or bring it back to that splendor has a handful of problems. And I will be 100% honest, I'm having a really hard time recommending it as it is in its current state. If it was in a perfectly playable state where the buy items are exactly where they need to be, the trash and sell items are exactly where they need to be, and when you're done, this is a perfectly complete, ready to go property to be admired and looked at as a complete property, I would recommend in a heartbeat, because this is one of the best designs, if not the best design I've ever seen for a house. It has a lot of work done with verticality. It has a lot of work done with like little visual intrigue touches. It has a lot of effort and a lot of spirit put into it. It really would have taken somebody hours and hours and hours to do this, but it hurts not to be able to recommend this to everyone and anyone I find because of just the glaring issues there are with the job itself. Like these little nooks over here where you can just climb up in here and take a nap in the window, that kind of thing. Like, these are wonderful little touches and features that make this house so wonderful, and yet it's blemished so horribly by the problems with the job as opposed to the house. Like, everything about this house is great, but the job drags it so far down that I would have actually rather not have a job here at all, but just have this be a property that I could have come in, done a really nice piece where I said, this is what it looks like, this is the design language, this is the philosophy, this is a really nice house, and I highly recommend everybody go look into it. But I can't do that because there's so many problems with getting it to that point. And unfortunately, I am going to have to leave it there because there's not really much else to say about it. So I do apologize to the developer. I see there was a lot of work put into this, and I apologize that I can't really give this a passing grade as it currently is. But absolutely, please, just go back to your drawing board, get the things where they need to be, get this to the point where when it gets to 3 stars, we have a complete, ready to view, ready to tour house, and this will be one of the greats. This will be one of the ones that you could put at the top of the list and say this is one of the most popular ones, but as it is, it's not going to get there. Have a good one, my guys. Cheers.